People are excited about Doomsday. I'm kind of still like, I don't know. I'm still slow to it. I wasn't ready for Doom, man. I was just so ready for Kang that like I'm not sure how I feel about Doomsday now.
Yeah, there's no build up to it at all. There's been no inkling of any hints that this was kind of coming. I think like 20 years from now, when you go back and you watch, it's just gonna feel so left field. You know what I mean? Like, all right, what just happened? Like, if you have no context of what the hell was going on with Jonathan Majors or anything in the media, you're just gonna be like, wait, why did they just drop this whole Kang thing that they've been building for all these years now? It's gonna make no sense. In the moment right now, sure, because we all understand social media is a big thing, so we're all caught up with everything and all the news that's going on. But from the outside looking in, it's looking really sloppy.
It feels like a mistake.
Really put together. And I understand that the hype that they assumed that they were going to get art, all these names and all these chairs and all this nostalgia, like, this is going to do it. This is going to be the one. I'm sure it's going to do big numbers. I'm sure it's going to get great pops. I'm sure we're all going to see it and we're all going to enjoy it. But we all have to acknowledge that this is very desperate of them to do some shit like this.
Yeah. So let's actually talk about who is in those casting seats. So there were 27 announcements made.
All of seats.
And this is the messed up thing about the rollout. They made a separate video, like 10-second video, for each one of these announcements.
Yeah, it was like literally a shot, like a panning shot. Excuse me, a panning shot of like 2, maybe 3 chairs every video, and then Avengers Doomsday pops up in the background, which I guess is a good way to kind of populate the algorithm with all these separate posts. Yeah. But at the same time, it's literally just like these set chairs with the actors' names on it, and that's the promo that they're doing for it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and share, because it looks like they created the one video. So let me share it over to you.
It would have been better without Robert Downey Jr.'s goofy ass.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
First up, obviously, Chris Hemsworth. Can y'all see this? I've been trying to drop this for like.
Yeah.
There we go. Chris Hemsworth.
You got the music with it?
Oh, can you hear it?
Nah, can't hear it.
So far, we got Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, who I believe plays in Invisible Woman, and Anthony Mackie, Black in America, Sebastian Stan, White Wolf, I guess, Letitia Wright,
Shuri, Black Panther,
Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell.
Not sure who he is. I forgot.
U.S. agent. So, fake Captain America from the Captain America Falcon show, or the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Tinoch Huerta Mejia.
Namor.
The underwater. No, I'm not gonna say it. It's clipped. Namor. Wait, who's that?
Evan Moss Bachrach.
He is playing the Thing.
He's the Thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Simu Liu. Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Florence Pugh. Kelsey Grammer. So now we're getting interesting. Right?
Yeah.
Who does Kelsey Grammer play in the MCU? Well, in Marvel?
In both.
Beast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Making his second appearance in the MCU.
Louis Pullman, I think that's another Fantastic Four.
Sentry.
Danny Ramirez.
The Falcon.
Joseph Quinn is Mr. Fantastic.
Nope, that's Human Torch.
David Harbour, Red whatever.
Winston
Guardian.
Duke, M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku.
Hannah John Kamen.
I can't remember.
That's Ghost.
Yeah,
okay.
Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Yo, slow down. Pause it. Can't hear it neither. Patrick Stewart. Who is that's Dr.
Professor
Xavier.
X.
Professor X.
Yes.
Yeah. Before that was Tom Hiddleston, Loki.
Yep.
Ian McKellen. That's
Was Ian
Magneto.
McKellen is the original Magneto.
That's Magneto. Alan Cumming.
Where?
Nightwalker.
That's
Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler. Right.
From which movie?
X-Men, the original X-Men
The
trilogy.
original X-Men movies?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh wow.
All these following ones.
Rebecca Romaine, formerly Rebecca Romaine Stamos. Mystique, original X-Men trilogy. James Marsden, Cyclops, original X-Men trilogy. Channing
Gambit.
Tatum,
Gambit.
Gambit, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic. There we go. I don't hate Pedro Pascal.
I didn't say that to me. It's hey.
I don't hate
sharing.
Pedro
Stop
Pascal,
sharing.
guys.
It's all good, man. You're like that guy.
Mr. Fantastic.
All right, so they had Robert Downey Jr. there, who is supposed to
Doom.
be
Dr. Doom.
Doctor.
It's gonna be Doom. Probably a Tony variant. It's probably.
I think it is.
somewhere along
I
the
think
lines,
it's.
too.
I think it has to be a Tony variant. I don't think they can get away with him being Doom, but not acknowledging that he's also Tony Stark.
Yeah, they're
for real.
probably gonna call him Tony.
They have to.
Yeah, they're probably gonna.
They have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how
all
do you
right.
feel about the X-Men reveal? Knowing that that's like, first of all, you got Fantastic Four, Captain America, Thunderbolts, X-Men, all of these things.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi. My issue with it was that it didn't say Avengers Doomsday, you know, the new trilogy that they're starting. That's all in one movie.
Unless they're shooting both of these bitches at one time.
Could be.
Unless you're shooting for like 6 hours and they split them up.
Which seems like very likely with having all these stars in there. You can't fit all them stars into like an hour and a half type movie.
No.
And if you
I
do,
don't
it's
think
not
you can
gonna
do it
be
in
good.
3. So, and that's kind of my thing. If this is one
They can do it
movie,
in 3.
this is going to be a bad movie. Low key, if this is just a trilogy, I think it's going to be bad. Because you got to remember the first time we saw the Avengers, we had 4 years worth of movies already built up, right? So you had Iron Man 2, Thor had come out already, Captain America had come out already. Everybody kind of had their own thing. Now, yes, some of these characters are already established. We know Shang-Chi, we know Falcon, blah, blah, blah. We're going to know the Thunderbolts, right? So that kind of makes the Thunderbolts movie like a necessary watch because it's
They're gonna tease
obviously,
Yeah.
it's obviously going to lead up to this one. But it still fits into that Marvel movies are just now trailers for the next Marvel movie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Which
So-
I was having a debate about that too. Like, you don't think that, and this is a quick thing, you don't think that Endgame or Infinity War would have still been great had it not had the build up for it? Like, if they dropped that movie by itself, you don't think it would have been as great?
Absolutely not.
You think it needed all
No
that
way.
build up?
Yeah, you needed, bro. You didn't. I mean, you saw Thanos for the first time, I believe, in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? When Ronan went to talk to him.
When they still
on
had the
thing.
helmet on or something?
I'll tell you right now. I want to say it
And-
was the Avengers movie though.
So Avengers 2 had Thanos in it, but I think Guardians of the Galaxy came first.
There was like one
First
where he still had
time-
the helmet on.
The first time seeing Thanos was the Avengers movie in the mid-credit scene when he
Age of Ultron. Okay.
No. Just the Avengers, 2012.
When the fuck was he in?
When he says I have to do it myself.
No, that was Age of Ultron. I'll do it myself was definitely Age of Ultron.
Or if not do it myself, I think it's when he just turned to the camera. I don't know if he actually said anything in the first one.
Right. Because he kind of he looked like a fucking Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, I told you he started the helmet. He like Shao Kahn. I think that's the one.
Exactly. That's exactly what he looked like.
Yeah, he started the helmet stuff like that.
Yeah,
But,
they hadn't like paid everybody in the animation department yet. By that point,
but you really don't think that like even if it was like a standalone movie, having all those heroes be a part of the movie, like having the action and stuff like that, it still wouldn't have been a great movie by itself. Because I think that like those like Infinity War and Endgame had enough action to where if we like knew about these characters, we wouldn't have to have like the whole, having all this build up. I think standalone movies it still would have been pretty successful.
I think you miss when. I feel.
So I didn't watch some of these movies too. Like I didn't watch like the
what?
original Captain Americas and stuff like that.
I agree.
And, like, Iron Man 2 and 3.
I agree. Because when you look at your traditional cartoon movie, like when you look at the Justice League movie or Batman movie or Public Enemies or whatever it may be, these are just standalone movies with no build up or anything, and they'll have all these heroes just come together and you care. Even if you never saw the Spider-Man or Captain America Winter Soldier when Spider-Man first came into the fight and you saw that relationship between him and Tony build up, you're still gonna feel when Spider-Man gets faded at the end, because even if you don't know them to have a relationship in a movie cinematic universe, you know them to have a relationship in the comics still.
Sure.
So there may not be a build up per se in the movies, but there is still a reference in terms of a history between these characters that you can refer to, especially because a lot of these movies are based off of source material that you can go back to and refer to yourself. So I'm not mad at that take.
I think there's two parts.
Yeah, go ahead. And then
one, you got a lot of people that are not familiar with the comics. They know the characters. I've never read a Marvel comic book. My introduction to these characters were through the movies, the Spider-Man movies, the X-Men movies. These are how I experienced these characters. The only cartoon shows that I watched was Superman and Batman, the animated series. I watched Batman Beyond too, but other than that, I never saw Loki before. I never saw, Thor. I knew who they were because they were characters in video games that I played, but I didn't know anything about these characters. And then secondly, y'all got to remember Infinity War specifically. That movie starts quick as shit. That movie starts so fast. I don't think anyone
Hulk
who
and
never
Thanos fighting
saw
over that first stone, right? Like
Hulk and Thanos fighting over that stone, Loki dying, right?
And I think that's so perfect, even without context, though. Like
The
there was
first
no
scene-
'cause
slow,
you know who the Hulk is,
there's no
yeah.
slow beginning. Like it could put you right into it, and that's what you want out of a comic book movie. So I'm not mad at that.
But don't you feel more for it because we've seen Loki fake his death, right? You saw Loki fake his death.
Well, I'm telling you that
I think that's what you sacrifice. You sacrifice a little bit of the feeling, but that. Think about it like this: the less movies that you have to make, the more money you can put into this one movie. You can put that bitch towards the budget, put that bitch towards the animation, get rid of the cheesy green screens, go actually on fucking location
Mars.
and do shit for real. Like do some more practical shit outside of just putting everything in the green screen. Even like in the when they're in New York City, you don't need to be in a green screen in New York City, bro.
Right.
Just rent out a
New York
block. Or
City
something.
exists.
Go to Vancouver and dress it up like New York.
And again, I'm telling you, based off of my experience with watching these movies, I didn't watch a lot of the early movies coming up to like Infinity War and Endgame. So that whole Loki faking his death thing, I might have missed that, to be honest with you. I don't even remember what movie that was in, but I was still able to like understand the significance of what, like there's little things that you miss kind of, but the movie by itself, if you have like strong, impactful character, like when I see Spider-Man, I know that's Spider-Man. I see Iron Man, I know that's Iron Man. The Hulk, obviously, Thor, things like that. I think it all comes with the costumes and the set design, like the designs of the characters and stuff like that. And this is where I kind of want to tie it back into what they're doing right now with Doomsday, where this announcement might be hype for a lot of people because of, we know that, like, what did we do? We looked at the actors and we talked about the movies that they were in before, right? Things like that. So we're like, we know they're going to pull out all these other characters from these other movies, right? But it's just like the casting, right? It seems like they're focusing a lot on the actors themselves and not as much of the characters. Yeah. So it feels a little bit like they feel like that's enough, right? Like to kind of give us nostalgia and the cameos of these people that we know and we are familiar with, right?
We call them member berries.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, listen, so like for your kids, right, who might have not even been alive during the first run of the X-Men, like the original X-Men movies, they might watch this movie and not feel anything when Mystique is on stage or when when the original Cyclops or the original Professor X or things like that. They might not feel as much of that when they first come on. So how do they serve a purpose other than just, oh my gosh, that's the person from the first movies? Like, what's their like? How are they going to be able to sell that to us in this movie, other than just like, oh yeah, we brought these people back to kind of tie them into this universe, right? Like, there has to be a real story. You can't like half-ass this. You have to actually write the full story, and you can't just sell it on, all right, well, this actually started way back then in the first movies. Like, you actually have to have a real story. You can't just sell based off of all these characters that you're including in this movie, because that's the only reason why it feels like they did this. I hope the story's good, but it very much feels like this is like their first attempts to grab all these different generations, new and old, the people that grew up with the older movies and some of the newer ones with all this stuff, and pretty much getting everybody's money together to like give all that fan service, right? That's what it feels like. But I just hope the story's strong, because if they got to do that to like just pique everybody's interest just straight off of like the actors and actresses, that's kind of weak to me. Like, just to if that's like the first attempts at getting everybody excited for this movie, and I know it's just like a teaser, but at the same time, I think we're allowed to be critical of that, because you're not just gonna sell some shit to me just based off of the actors. Like, where are the costumes, man? Like, put the mask on the back of the chairs or something. You're just giving us people's names. You feel me?
So I actually,
if y'all didn't explain all those people to me, I wouldn't have known a lot of those, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't disagree with you that they're going after member berries, and I also have that same doubt that the movie is going to be good, because let's have a real conversation. Wolverine and Deadpool was ass.
I ain't gonna say all that. I enjoy that movie still.
Wolverine and Deadpool is not a good movie as a movie. It's a good movie for the cameos. And I think Marvel has kind of been living in this world where, put it like this, if Avengers Doomsday is the same quality of movie as Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, however you want to say it, is that going to be enough?
Damn, they're not even in this movie. Their names weren't even included either.
Channing
I'm
Tatum
just saying,
was.
like, huh?
Channing Tatum was, but no.
Oh, well, I'm talking about like Ryan
Deadpool
Reynolds
and Wolverine.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? But
Got you.
I don't agree that it was a bad movie. I think it was a good Deadpool movie. Like it was a good Deadpool movie. But at the same time, I think to your point of, they're like trailers for the next movie, it doesn't really feel like it fits within the same timeline. I think because we're used to Marvel doing this, where it's like everything kind of links to something else. So because this didn't feel like it was like, all right, we're gonna see Deadpool and Wolverine in Doomsday, like this is like the setup for them to be in this other bigger movie. It kind of felt like maybe useless, and so that could be why maybe a lot of people didn't receive it well, because it's like, all right, what's the point of this movie? It's like we forget how to enjoy a movie without it being attached to another movie, which isn't fair. It should be able to stand by itself. But that's all in the writing too. That's not just on the fans receiving it in a certain way. It's all in the writing and what their direction is towards.
The funny thing is, I have this same opinion though about the Spider-Man movie, Far From Home or No Way Home or whatever it was. I don't think that was a good movie.
That last one?
Yeah. I don't think that was a good movie. I have not watched that movie again, because I remember every single scene from it. Like it was so basic and surface. Like everything that you needed to see from that movie, you needed to see at one time. There's no feeling to make you go back to it. Like I don't think anything that happened in that movie matters. You know what I mean? Like
no, I think so. I think the scene that I always go back to, the scene that I always go back to in that movie is the spider sense scene. You know, because we don't really see him
where he's in Mysterio's illusion.
No. Where he like starts to pick up like well, that was cool too. That was a whole nother movie. That was a cool too. But in the No Way Home one with
the latest one, yeah,
the latest one with the other two Spider-Man, when he senses the Goblin coming, like when he senses like the Goblin like being like evil and stuff like that.
That whole fight scene was really good.
That was a great fight scene, and the setup to it was amazing because being in that theater at that time where you didn't know what was happening, and it occurred to you that you were actually seeing from his perspective what that spider sense, like the tingle that he was talking about. That was really cool and like to see on screen, and that's the one thing I go to. And also, I guess the whole point of that movie was him having his canon event, right? Him becoming like Spider-Man kind of thing. The first version of him that actually is like the thing that activates all the Spider-Man, which is this tragedy, you know? So now it's like they can move on and he can actually go forth with the story. Like now he's Spider-Man, you know? Like he was already doing all this stuff, but now he feels like activated in a way. So
yeah,
that's like the two biggest things from that movie that I received.
Yeah, the whole thing felt like just the beginning, and now we're about to get into the actual like Spider-Man. But we get the original suit. He has the whole, you know, nobody knows who he is anymore. Now he has like a legit secret identity now.
Yeah.
So then really we get to see Sony do a third Spider-Man origin movie. it's just like it just kind of feels. And the fact that it was inconsequential was kind of the point because they needed to reset, right? Because Marvel was losing the rights. They couldn't make Spider-Man matter to the MCU anymore because then you can't do anything with it, right? Yeah. But I just don't trust Sony to make a good Spider-Man movie either after Tobey Maguire decided not to. Well,
let me tell you, I watched both the latest Venom movie and the Kraven the Hunter movie on my way to LA on the same flight, back to back.
Oh my god!
Because then I tried to watch Joker on my way back. Joker is probably the worst comic book movie of all time. Joker 2. I will go out there and say it. It is awful. I've tried to watch it 3 times now, and I have not been able to make it halfway through any time, bro.
Is it because
worse than Madam Web?
It's a straight up musical, bro. It's literally a straight up musical.
I might fuck with it.
Try, bro. But the whole movie is, from what I understand, because I had to look it up, it's a waste of time. Honestly, the whole movie is a waste of time.
It is the end of it. You know, with everything. Did you get to the end?
No, I looked it up.
Okay. All right, so basically, the whole movie is a waste of time. That's not even the real, you know, apparently. That's like, whatever.
It's
but
fucking stupid. So worst comic book movie of all time. But so let me say, if Kraven the Hunter, if that movie had more of a budget in the post-production process of it, in terms of CGI and all and physics, how things work. And if they had like an actual PA or a script director that was making sure that everything made sense, that movie could have been really fucking good.
Or an editor.
That movie could have been really good. That movie had a lot of potential. I love the story. The actors that they had in it, the chameleon didn't look that great in the end. It looked just like a CGI needed a lot of fucking work. That was definitely the shittiest part of that movie. But story wise, it was okay. I give it like a 6.5. Like it didn't deserve like the shit bomb that it definitely got. Like it's definitely not as up there with like Madam Web or Joker 2 or anything like that. Venom, a little too silly sometimes, but a good fun movie. Like I understand
I like the
like
Venom
how
movies.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say that one thing I do hate about Sony though is that they lie in their trailers. They put stuff in there that like, oh, this is Spider-Man related. This is Spider-Man related. We're gonna put the Vulture over here. We're gonna put a Spider-Man poster in the back. Never appears in the movie. So that's the one thing I really hate about that. They really do rely on the fact that, hey, we're gonna teach you a Spider-Man here, Spider-Man, and that's how they get you to their movies. I don't respect that. But this last Venom movie, a little too silly, but I enjoyed it. It's fun. I think they can make a decent Spider movie if they put a good fucking budget around it, man. And they need to put the whole fucking Sony budget and everything around it, because that's the one that could hit for them, bro. That could make them a lot of fucking money. It could be a success. They got a fresh slate to work with, so they literally have all the Spider-Man IP to work with. They could do whatever they want. Just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I agree.
So ultimately, there's still a lot. I think my issue is just these movies are too expensive. They take too long to make, and I don't think they're very well written. But again, we may just be at the point where we're aging out, right? So like, it's just like they're actually not making these movies for us. I think that's a big problem with the internet in general.
I don't want to give it.
I feel like they are making the movies for us.
Yeah,
like, but they're making it too much for us. Like, they're trying to spoon feed us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're spoon feeding us nostalgia and food feeding us memories and stuff, rather than creating new characters that are going to be memorable and not so cringy and forgettable, like She-Hulk.
Yeah, they're leaning on the talent and not enough on the character. Like, write the character. Don't let the star be
name.
Like, don't let the name be, because they haven't learned from their mistakes. Things happen to these actors, man. Like, it's sad to say, but things be happening to these actors. Law stuff, like, sicknesses, things happen. So you have to kind of build around the character, so that an actor can kind of go in and they actually have a job. That's why a lot of actors don't be wanting to be included in these Marvel movies, because it's like you're choosing to be that character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not choosing to just be like just in a movie in a standalone. Like, it's like a commitment at that point. You know what I'm saying? Chris Hemsworth goes people that he's Thor, bro. Like, I haven't seen him in another movie in a really long time. Yeah. So I'm sure he does other movies, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. He was in the
Extraction movies on Netflix that were pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he did in that, but if you see him out,
movies more than his movies.
Yeah, his brother. Yeah, but if you see him outside, he's pretty much Thor at that point, right? It's almost like people who work at Disney, like who are Minnie Mouse or whatever like that. Imagine when they left that job, they're still Minnie Mouse. Like, if you know who that person is behind that mask, they go out and they still Minnie Mouse. That's miserable, bro. Like, that's very miserable to be able to have to, or to have to like live in that character for the rest of your career, pretty much. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot to deal with. So I just mean, like, build out the character and have them be a strong force. Like, have the Hulk be the Hulk. The best people that have the characters, or the best version of the characters in like Marvel movies, are people that don't have to have like human forms, really. Like, or as much as like other people. Like Iron Man, like, he has a mask and stuff, but like, even still, like, he has like the whole Jarvis thing and stuff like that, so that works out well for him. But people that don't have to like be, human characters that much, like people like Vision, right? Like, who he's not human as much.
Where the fuck is Vision? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. There's people like that. People who are very much not always looking how they look, right? They are the character. So I like Spider-Man, the mask, right? We love Tom Holland, but we also enjoy looking at Spider-Man. So I don't know. There's like a whole lot of things that I have problems with there, but we can close out on that. I just think it's just an announcement, so we'll see what else they have, what else comes from that. I expect to get a review from y'all on the Thunderbolts when that comes out. Hopefully you get some good content behind that, but we'll see. I guess we'll wait and see.